Welcome to the story. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and support me. The planet's name was Xyloria, though the humans didn't know that yet. It was an uncharted world, nestled within the folds of a distant star system, far beyond the reaches of Earth's colonies. The planet had gone unnoticed for centuries, until now. The research vessel Solstice orbited just above its atmosphere, its sleek, metallic body reflecting the soft, pale glow of the nearby sun. Dr. Emily Carter stood in the observation bay, her hands pressed against the cool glass, eyes locked on the lush green surface below. Beautiful, isn't it? Dr. James Ford, her colleague and close friend, approached from behind. His voice broke her concentration, but she smiled faintly without turning around. "More than beautiful," she replied, her voice barely a whisper. "It's alive." She wasn't just talking about the trees, rivers, and mountains they'd seen from their scans. The data coming in suggested something far more complex. Beneath the surface, the planet's ecosystems hummed with an energy pattern unlike any they had encountered. And within that hum was something that no one expected: intelligence. "Prep the landing gear," Emily said, her voice steady now. "We're going down." The descent through Xyloria's atmosphere was smooth, the Solstice expertly guided by autopilot as it navigated through the layers of thick clouds. The research team watched intently as the green world came into sharper focus. Towering trees with glowing vines stretched toward the sky, rivers glittered like molten silver, and strange, insect-like creatures darted in and out of sight. But it wasn't just the beauty of the place that captured the crew's attention, it was the order. The wildlife moved with a purpose, the plants swayed in unison as if following some unseen command, and the air itself buzzed with a silent rhythm. Emily felt it before they even landed. Something ancient, something aware. The research outpost was quickly established near the planet's equator, where the ecosystem was the most diverse. The crew worked efficiently, setting up labs and observation posts, collecting samples from the flora and fauna, all under Emily's watchful eye. She had been a xenobiologist for over 15 years, but nothing had prepared her for what Xyloria offered. As the days passed, it became clear that this wasn't just another habitable world. The creatures here, they were intelligent. At first, it was small things. Birds flying in intricate, mathematically precise patterns, predator-prey relationships that didn't fit the usual mold, plants that seemed to shift and grow in response to the team's presence. But then came the discovery of the cane. They were ethereal beings, translucent, jellyfish-like creatures that floated just above the ground, their tendrils pulsing with soft, bioluminescent light. Their communication was unlike anything the team had ever seen: flashes of light, patterns of sound, even shifts in temperature. At first, the humans could only watch in awe. But Emily was determined. She believed that with enough time, they could decipher the cane's language. "These beings aren't just intelligent," Emily said during one of their team briefings. "They're advanced. Far more than we realized." James raised an eyebrow. "How advanced are we talking?" Emily tapped her tablet, pulling up the latest data. "They've evolved alongside the planet's energy patterns. The cane are symbiotic with their environment, they can manipulate the very energy that fuels this world." The room fell silent. "If we can understand them," Emily continued, "if we can communicate, there's no telling what we could learn. Their knowledge could revolutionize our technology, our understanding of life itself." Dr. Alan Park, the lead engineer, leaned back in his chair, skeptical as always. "And what happens when they don't like what we're offering? We don't know their intentions. We could be walking into a trap." "Maybe," Emily conceded, but we owe it to humanity to try. Over the following weeks, the team made progress. Emily worked tirelessly, studying the Cane's signals, their behavior, their interactions with each other and the environment. She developed a rudimentary interface, an amalgamation of human technology and alien biology, that allowed for the first real exchanges of information. It was primitive, but it worked. The Cane, it turned out, were as curious about the humans as the humans were about them. They had observed the newcomers from the moment the solstice entered their atmosphere. Through a series of complex exchanges, Emily learned that the Cane had existed on Xyloria for millennia, evolving in tandem with the planet's unique bioenergy fields. Their civilization was ancient, but their society was not built on physical structures or technology as humans knew it. Instead, their intelligence was woven into the very fabric of the planet's ecosystems. They were the keepers of Xyloria's life force, able to manipulate the planet's energy for healing, growth, and even defense. As Emily's team gained the Cane's trust, the aliens began sharing their knowledge. It was overwhelming. The Cane had long ago discovered ways to harness the planet's bioenergy, creating what could only be described as living technology. Plants that could grow into tools, rivers that could change course on command, and creatures that served as guardians, all bound to the Cane's will. The breakthrough came when the humans and the Cane worked together to create a hybrid technology, combining human machinery with the Cane's organic constructs. The result was a self-regenerating energy source, something far beyond what humanity had achieved on its own. It was a power grid that could repair itself, adapt to its surroundings, and generate energy with zero waste. It was, quite simply, the future, but not everyone on the team was content with this cooperative venture. As the collaboration deepened, so did the ethical dilemmas. Dr. Mark Harris, a prominent researcher, had a different vision for the Cane's knowledge. He saw potential for military applications, ways to weaponize their bioenergy systems and use them for Earth's defense. Or, more accurately, Earth's domination. We can't just ignore what we found here, Mark argued during a heated debate with Emily. This technology could change the balance of power on Earth. We'd be fools not to use it. And what happens when that power is abused? Emily shot back. The Cane trust us. We can't betray that trust for personal gain. Mark scoffed. Trust? They're aliens, Emily. We don't owe them anything. The tension within the team reached a boiling point when Mark and a few of his followers attempted to take control of the Cane's technology. They planned to create a weapon, a devastating device that could harness the bioenergy to unleash untold destruction. But their actions destabilized the delicate balance of Xyloria's ecosystem. The planet itself reacted violently, storms erupted, the ground trembled, and the once harmonious energy patterns became erratic, chaotic. The Cane withdrew, cutting off all communication. Without their guidance, the humans were lost. The rogue team's weapon threatened to destroy not just the planet, but everything the Cane had worked to protect. Emily, desperate to repair the damage, pleaded with the remaining members of her team to help stop Mark. Together, they devised a plan to dismantle the weapon and restore the balance. It was a race against time. The Cane, now wary of the humans, watched from the shadows, unsure whether to intervene or let the planet's natural defenses take care of the invaders. The final confrontation was intense. Emily and her team, with the help of a few Cane who still believed in the humans, managed to infiltrate Mark's base of operations. A fierce battle ensued, but in the end, Emily's team prevailed. They deactivated the weapon just moments before it could detonate, and slowly, the planet's energy patterns returned to normal. In the aftermath, Emily stood before the Cane, humbled and exhausted. She apologized for the betrayal, for the greed that had nearly cost them everything. For a long moment, the Cain were silent, their translucent forms shimmering in the light of Xyloria's twin moons. Then, finally, one of them stepped forward, its tendrils brushing gently against Emily's hand. A single word echoed through her mind, carried on a wave of warmth and light. Peace. The Cain, though wary, agreed to continue the partnership, but with strict conditions. No technology would leave Xyloria without their consent, and all future collaborations would be carefully monitored. Emily accepted these terms without hesitation. She knew that this was their only chance to build a lasting relationship based on mutual respect. The team returned to Earth with the knowledge they had gained, but not the power Mark had craved. They shared their findings with the scientific community, and while many were disappointed that the hybrid technology wouldn't be available for commercial use, others understood the gravity of what had been achieved. The alliance with the Cain marked the beginning of a new era, one where humanity's future would be shaped not just by its own hands, but by the wisdom of the stars. As Emily looked back on the experience, she knew that this was just the beginning. The universe was vast, filled with unknown wonders, and Xyloria had shown them that they weren't alone. Humanity had much to learn, but for the first time in a long while, Emily felt hopeful. Emily Carter stood at the foot of the landing platform, watching as the last of the equipment was loaded back onto the Solstice. The air on Xyloria was calm now, the earlier chaos settled, though the residual hum of the planet's energy field still pulsed in the background. She took a deep breath, allowing the cool air to fill her lungs. It smelled of life, of potential, of everything they had just discovered. Her team had been remarkably resilient. After the disaster with Mark Harris and the rogue scientists, they'd worked tirelessly to repair the damage, both with the Cain and the ecosystem they had nearly destabilized. The planet had almost rejected them, but thanks to the cooperation of the Cain and the delicate balance they restored, they had earned another chance. James walked up beside her, his arms crossed as he gazed out at the alien landscape one last time. Hard to believe we almost lost all of this. Hard to believe we didn't, Emily said quietly, her voice filled with the weight of everything that had transpired. We came so close to destroying not just this planet, but our chance at something greater. James nodded, his eyes still focused on the horizon. But we didn't. And now we have something else. Something better. Emily couldn't help but smile. James was right. The breakthrough they had made wasn't just technological, it was a new understanding of their place in the universe. The Cain had shown them that intelligence could evolve in ways they had never imagined. Life, it seemed, had infinite paths of growth. The humans had much to learn from them, and if they could maintain this partnership, there was no telling how far they could go. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting the landscape in shades of purple and gold, Emily felt a sense of peace wash over her. The planet was alive in a way that no one on Earth could truly comprehend, not yet. But one day, maybe, they would. She turned back toward the ship. It was time to leave, but she wasn't leaving empty-handed. Her tablet was filled with data, energy patterns, biosignatures, and the foundations of the hybrid technology they had developed with the Cain. This wasn't something that could be used for profit or war, this was something that could change the very fabric of human civilization. Clean, renewable energy. Machines that could repair themselves, adapt, evolve. Medical advancements that could heal in ways never before imagined. But more than that, Emily knew they had forged something even more valuable than the technology itself, a relationship with an alien species that could teach them so much more. A species that understood the balance between technology and nature, between power and responsibility. The Kane, once wary of the humans, had come to trust them again. They had even shared some of their ancient knowledge, though they made it clear that the deepest secrets of their world would remain hidden for now. It was a slow process, this building of trust, but it was progress. And that was what mattered. The Solstice's engines roared to life, vibrating through the ground beneath her feet. Emily looked up, her gaze drawn to the sky, where the stars were beginning to appear. She wondered what lay beyond them, what other worlds held mysteries like Xyloria, what other beings might be out there, waiting to be discovered. James gave her a light nudge with his elbow. "Come on, boss. Time to head home." With a final glance at the planet that had changed everything, Emily turned and followed him up the ramp. The hatch closed behind them with a soft hiss, sealing them inside the ship. The rest of the crew was already seated, preparing for the long journey back to Earth. As the Solstice lifted off, Emily found her seat and strapped in. She leaned back, staring out the window as the planet grew smaller and smaller below them. The Kane had given them a gift of knowledge, of understanding, of cooperation. And now it was up to humanity to prove themselves worthy of that gift. The trip back to Earth was uneventful, giving Emily time to reflect. The data they had collected was already being transmitted back to Earth's scientific network, though Emily made sure to place strict controls on who had access to the most sensitive information. She wouldn't let the same mistakes happen again. The power they had discovered was too great to fall into the wrong hands. When they finally arrived, the reception was mixed. There were those who marveled at the technological advancements and the promise of a new energy source, while others, particularly in the political and military sectors, were more interested in how it could be weaponized. Emily had expected this. It was human nature, after all, to seek power. But she was determined to safeguard what they had found, to ensure that it was used responsibly. Emily's life changed in the months that followed. She became the face of the Xyloria mission, her name synonymous with one of the greatest scientific breakthroughs in human history. But fame had never been her goal. Her focus remained on the work, on deepening the relationship with the Kane, on continuing to unlock the mysteries of their world. The Kane were cautious, but over time, they opened up more, revealing new layers of their society, their history, their philosophy. They had seen civilizations rise and fall, and they knew the dangers of unchecked ambition. One evening, after a particularly long meeting with Earth's Scientific Council, Emily sat in her quiet apartment, reflecting on how far they had come. The city lights twinkled outside her window, and for a moment, she imagined what it would be like if those lights weren't powered by fossil fuels or nuclear reactors, but by the living, breathing energy of Xyloria. It was a future within reach, but only if they could protect it. A soft chime echoed through the room, pulling her from her thoughts. A message from the Kane, transmitted through the hybrid technology they had developed together. Emily smiled, feeling a warmth in her chest as the alien symbols danced across her screen, their meaning clear to her now. More to learn, the message read. Emily typed a quick response, her fingers moving instinctively across the keys. Always. The universe was vast, and there was so much more to discover. But for now, Emily knew they were on the right path. Humanity had taken its first steps into a larger, more interconnected existence. Xyloria had shown them that intelligence wasn't limited to one species, or one planet, or one way of thinking. As she lay back, closing her eyes, Emily felt a sense of calm settle over her. The stars were out there, waiting. And for the first time in a long while, she felt that humanity was ready for them.